Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Entire Bay Area school board resigns after making disparaging comments about parents without realizing the meeting was being broadcast. All members of a San Francisco Bay Area school board resigned days after they were heard making disparaging comments about parents at a virtual board meeting they didn't realize was being broadcast to the public. The 4 members of Oakland Union Elementary School District Board had stepped down by Friday amid growing outrage that began with the board's Wednesday meeting. Before the meeting officially began and unaware the public could see and hear them, they used profanity and made jokes about parents just wanting a babysitter or to smoke pot in their home. The incident garnered national attention and widespread condemnation. The district superintendent, Greg Hetrick, announced a resignation in a letter Friday and said that Contra Costa County Education Board members will replace them in an interim capacity, the Mercury News reported. We deeply regret the earlier comments that were made in the meeting of the Board of Education earlier this week. A joint statement by now ex-board members Kim Bede, Erica Ippolito, and Richie Masada says, as trustees, we realize it is our responsibility to model the conduct that we expect of our student and staff, and it is our obligation to build confidence in district leadership. Our comments failed you in both regards, and for this, we offer our sincerest apology. Bede, Ippolito, and Masadas joined board president Lisa Brizendine, who announced her resignation Thursday. Trustees were awaiting the start of the meeting when they began discussing parents' letters and social media posts about reopening schools. Bede defended herself against a parent who chided her on social media for going to a party during the coronavirus pandemic after declaring it wasn't safe to return to school. I wasn't doing anything bad. I honestly don't care about that part, but are we alone? She asked the other trustees. B, if you call me out, I'm going to F you up. Sorry, that's just me, Bede added. After some laughter, Brizendine chimed in to commiserate, with others about the growing criticism they faced over closed schools, suggesting parents really want schools to reopen so they could get their babysitters back. Masada suggested parents wanted their free time for other reasons. My brother had a delivery service for medical marijuana at a high clientele where the parents with their kids at school. When you have your kids at home, no more inaudible, Masada said, clasping his hands on his forehead as others chuckled in the background. The remarks were met with swift, widespread condemnation. Calls for the board's resignation, including from Oakley's mayor and coast-to-coast coverage. A petition calling for the board to resign quickly garnered thousands of signatures. Man, that social age media, man, social media age, excuse me. That's some good coffee. Shout out to Fine Wine Frank, or Frank Fine Wine, whatever you want to call my dog. Now, this is the thing here. For you to be that careless, you deserve to be fired. And they were fired. It ain't no resignation. They just put resignation to make it all nice and sweet because it was pink folk involved with this. Now, look, you have got to be careful because when I'm out for deliveries, there was a delivery driver of UPS who was caught spewing racist words and prejudice towards this house that Mexicans occupied. And for you to do that, that just shows you're disheartening and who you really are as a person. For you to say that every parent doesn't smoke marijuana. There's some parents who do need the schools open because they have to go to work. Because if they don't go to work, their kids aren't going to be able to have a place to lay their head down. So that was just very disrespectful. And this is how a lot of teachers and that's why I didn't used to hang out with a lot of teachers when I was teaching, because they're just like this. I gotta ask who did it, how he feels about this. Who did it? If you hear this video, let me know in the comment section. What do you feel about this? The board, I believe, talking bad about the parents and basically saying that they just need babysitters for their kids so they can smoke pot and do all this other stuff. Look, whatever they do is their business, but there's a lot more parents that I've been around who need the schools open so the kids can get an education. To me, schools are stupid. To me, they're just made to dumb your kid down, because until I went to a black college, a historical black college in Texas Southern, I didn't really know ish about history, the real history, not the made up mess like Christopher Columbus founded America when there were already people here. So, but let's not go sidetrack. This isn't about me. This isn't about me. This isn't about what I went through. This is about these kids getting a proper education. They need to be in school learning and reading and being able to hone their skills to be prepared to be out in this world. And some kids may need it because, hey, they may be offering trade, or they might want to be a trade. They want to do a trade one day. But for you guys to have that much naivety to just feel like you could just spew whatever you want. Listen, we live in a camera-stricken world. This world is full of cameras. Whatever you do, you can go take a it on the side of the sidewalk. Somebody will catch it. So you have to be very mindful and careful, because when I'm out on my job or other UPS guys are working, there's cameras out there watching you. And a guy accidentally dropped the box. I dropped the box by accident. The customer sent the video in saying, oh, I'm mishandling their package, when there was nothing broken and there was nothing really in there. It was light as a feather, but it just accidentally slipped out my hand. But they're trying to make it seem like, oh, it's your fault and everything. So at the end of the day, you have to be mindful of what you say. And for you to say something like that, I think that was Mr. Masadas or whatever his name is, for you to say something that disheartening about, just because your brother is working in a medicinal place where, you know, they're giving out marijuana and everything, doesn't mean every parent smokes. Though it may be certain parents. Now, I know some parents who do, but there's a lot of parents I know that don't do that. They used to when they were younger, before they had the kids, but they don't do that now because they're trying to set an example for kids. And for you to assume that, when you have an assumption, that is the mother of all F-ups, when you assume something instead of actually knowing something. And you're a teacher or you're a board member, so you should know this, that you don't assume anything. And you guys deserve to be fired. I don't want to hear that crap, resign. We know you got fired, because if you didn't resign, you were going to get fired anyway, because that's just unacceptable. For you to say that so freely, thinking, oh, well, nobody's going to know. Well, how do you know? How do you know somebody's not going to know? You have to understand is we're living in a sensitive world. And not only are we living in a sensitive world, there's people out here who want something better for their children. That's why they want school open, so their children could go mingle with other kids, you know, so they could go be around their friends, so they could be able to play again, where they're not constricted at home having to sit in the living room and be on a damn tablet all day. That's not very fundamental. So they deserve to get their asses fired. Let me know in the comment section, what do you feel about it? Do you feel like they were fired or resigned too quickly? Or do you believe that they should have got a second chance? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you for listening. We out. Deezy.